Welcome back, Shapeshifters. Today's episode is all about the Spring Equinox. We are going to talk about the deeper significance of the Spring Equinox in terms of how it mirrors your own personal evolution. You are going to get some tips to align with this energy somatically as well as your overall perspective. So let's get into it. So for those of you living in the Western Hemisphere, Thursday, March 20th marks the beginning of spring. And if you listen to episode 1, I would say if you haven't, go back and listen to it. But we talked about the power of winter as well as all of nature's cycles. We talked about the fact that you are nature. You are also made up of the same elements of nature. And the more that we tap into the natural rhythm of the universe, the more that we receive momentum from the universe, the less work we have to do, the more of a boost that we get. And so working with this metaphor of a seed, right, that we all actually started off as seeds in our mother's wombs, in the primordial darkness of our fertile mothers. And we know that that energy of the womb, which we know is pitch black, also is directly connected to the pitch black fertile darkness of the earth that we also plant seeds in for those seeds to bloom. And those seeds become what nurtures us, what sustains the plant and animal kingdom of the universe. And so we know that you are no different and that we are now coming out of the season of winter, of the season of darkness, that place where we were hibernating, where we were moving slower. And really we had this opportunity to sit with self, to sit in a slow pace and to do the inner reflection of what we really wanted to plant for the new cycle and how we wanted to nurture our own seed. And so we know that those seeds were planted in the winter. And some of you might be saying, oh shit, it's already spring. I didn't really plant like that. Here's the thing, as I always say, you're always planting. You're planting through your actions. You're planting through the voice, not only the voice that you speak out loud, but the voice that's going in your head. Because all of your actions and the way that you move every day becomes the algorithm, becomes the frequency that you put that into the universe. And so it's not so much about if you plant it, it's about having the intentionality and the self-awareness about what you planted and doing giving yourself the opportunity to say, hey, am I aligned with what I'm planting? Are these the things that I'm ready to plant? And what I love about this time of year and all of the different cycles of nature is that we get an opportunity to revisit, redefine, reimagine, reset. And so this is another one of those moments for you shapeshifters. So whether you were doing that intentional planning in the winter, whether you're like, hey, I need to be more intentional in the spring, we're always planting. So now what we planted in the metaphysical realm, if you will, of the universe is now in the season of sprout. And one of the things that my father reminded me of is that we don't really know what's in a seed. That there is this intelligence, inherent intelligence, that we believe in the seed. We know that if given the right conditions, the seed is going to do what it's supposed to do, but we don't really get a chance to open it up. We don't really know what's in there, even though we know what's in there is so sacred. And so the energy that is required to move a seed from a place of burrowing its roots deeper into the fertile darkness, as above, so below. So the winter season was all about going deeper, deeper, and not even knowing if you got to see the light. And that discipline and that diligence of winter gives us the opportunity to not just anchor ourselves in the soil, but also rise into the light, into that energetic force as our ancestors in Kemet, Ra, the power of the sun that stimulates our melanin and our nervous system and gets us active. And so it takes a tremendous amount of sacrifice, of power, of intelligence, and of self-awareness for that seed to literally burst through the soil. Not only does it have to transform its complete physical body from that of a seed, it also has to then push up against the earth It has to go against the natural gravity of the earth that's planted it down, and it has to find its own way up out of the darkness and into the light. And so what a powerful metaphor. I also think of the metaphor, the rose that grew from concrete, right? We've all heard of that. We know that even in this concrete cities that we are living in, that there are still plant life, that's natural inherent intelligence is to break through. So this season, shapeshifters, is the season of your breakthrough. It is the season of your transformation. It is trusting in the inherent intelligence within you to literally become something else, even though that sacred part of you is still there. But your physical reality and your physical manifestation is now different. Now you're in this place of sprouting. And I also want to think about this sprout, right? If you've had an alfalfa sprout or maybe a small plant sprout, it's fragile, right? A sprout is not a stalk. It's a sprout. It's still growing. It's still vulnerable. It still needs the same level of intentionality and care that we gave to it when it was in the soil. So as you are emerging into this place of holding and anchoring the darkness as you emerge out into the light, the invitation is to continue to be diligent about your discipline, about the level of care, about the amount of preciousness, the container that you create for this beautiful, beautiful sprout. Because part of the spring represents an equilibrium. As we move out of the darkness, we're moving into a time where the days and the nights are reaching a level of equilibrium in the northern hemisphere. So you're in this state of finding balance. And that is why when we think about balance, sometimes it's more about harmony. It's about being able to navigate the entire spectrum of darkness into light. That there are times where we are just in places of darkness, and there are times when we come back to a place of balance, and there are times where it might be a lot more light. And so what we're also reminded of, and I love nature because it gives you the handbook to life, is that it reminds us that things are temporary. And so even when we are in the season of light or the season of darkness or the season of equilibrium, we are reminded that that is still temporary. And so we are invited to maintain that frequency of neutrality as we are navigating the world. And so it brings me to the Ifa teachings of making Oshe. Oshe is the way that we say our sacred prayers to Orisha based on our 4-day week. If you have shrines in your home, you're able to go and appease those shrines. You feed those shrines. You give them prayer. You give them strong drink. And we also give them this powerful nut called the kola nut, or as we call it, the obi. And we break it up into 4 pieces. And those 4 pieces give us a series of yes or no answers. And so when everything is up, literally when the kola nut is face up, we call it alafia. It's up, right? It's all light. When 2 of the kola nuts are up and 2 of the kola nuts are down, we say obiyan. We mean that that is balance, that there is 2 up and 2 down. We're in a place of balance. When there are 3 down and 1 up, we say okan, oka. And okan means to pay homage or do not worry. And then when all of them are down, we call it Ishegum, the Ishegum, victory. So the point that I want to say is that even embedded in these ancestral practices, right? Because we know that many indigenous cultures align their lives with nature, their systems. So we're looking at a 10,000-year-old divination system that's connected to Orisha. What are Orisha? Forces of nature, right? So everywhere you go, you're still met with nature. And what do they tell us? Hey, alafia, we give thanks when every kola nut is up. But guess what? It's not going to always be up. What we strive for many times is obiyan. We strive for 2 up and 2 down. We don't get too too excited when we get Alafia, but also when there's 3 down and 1 up, we don't get too discouraged. We know that we just need to pay homage, that we need to appease, that not worrying, we can actually transmute these forces. And so it's reminding us to maintain that frequency of neutrality, because neutrality is a high frequency. And that, yes, we want to be peaceful. We want to be loving. We want to be blissful. We want to be joyful. And those are things that we can aspire towards. But just the act of neutrality, the Omi Tutu, when we cool our Ori, cool our head, you keep coming back to this place of balance. And so spring, through the equinox, is bringing us into that season of balance, bringing us into that season of Ma'at, reminding us that, yes, you did it. You got through the winter. That was temporary. Now you're going to be into the season of equilibrium, which is temporary, because then we're going to go into the season of light, bloom, the summer where it's all shining, but that's going to be temporary. Right? And as we are still much into this 9 year, 9 being the year when you add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, the year 2025, you get number 9, which is the year of death and rebirth. So Spirit is reminding us that, yes, the 9 year is going to keep being the 9 year. It is going to keep giving you invitations to tell the universe what is ready to die in your light, a mindset, a practice, a relationship, a behavior. And what are you ready to rebirth? Rebirthing it through the darkness into the light. You know, the spring is connected to a new beginning. And so the universe is telling you that you get to begin again. And so I want to share with you today some other tips that you can utilize to really take advantage of this time of renewal. And so one of them is really making sure that we are cleaning our homes. This is a wonderful time for spring cleaning. As your sprout is sprouting and you want to protect it, thinking about, what are those things that I'm ready to let go of? Taking a look at your refrigerator, your closet, and I'm saying those because those tend to be the places where we have a lot of stuff we don't need, and just doing some spring cleaning, purchasing yourself some fresh flowers, bringing that spring energy. This is a wonderful time to do a spiritual cleansing. I talked a lot about different spiritual cleansings in the spiritual currencies episodes. You can go back and look at that, but a wonderful time to just refresh your altar, refresh your home. Also thinking about refreshing your body in terms of your own physical wellness practice. Now we want to start picking up the chi. We want to start picking up the pace. So doing workouts in your physical practice that are going to bring that Kundalini energy up. Even shaking can be a wonderful way to activate your body. And it's really about letting go of stagnation and making the way for spaces of growth. Oftentimes we pray for new things, but are we ready to make space for those things? So if you're saying, I have an intention to move and you're still sitting onto clutter, are you really ready to move? If you say, I want to travel a lot this year, but my passport is expired, are you really ready for your passport? If you're saying, I want to save money, but you're still repeating the same financial habits, so make space for your prayers as if your prayers have already existed. Show the universe that, hey, I'm meeting you where my mouth is. I'm not just talking about it in the metaphysical realm. I'm being about it in the physical realm. So clearing space, transmuting space, spiritual cleaning in space, and making the space for those intentions and those goals that you set for yourself in the season of winter. Also utilizing certain plant medicines for renewal during the season, things that are going to be detoxing your liver, detoxing your kidneys. Sometimes in the winter, we like to, stock up on comfort food. Maybe we're eating more carbs, more bread, more heavier foods, taking things like nettle, herbs like dandelion. Those are going to be herbs that are really going to start flushing out toxins that are going to support your kidney and your liver, getting into the steam rooms, sweating, as I said, with the cardio. Also, if you are into fasting, even a juice cleanse for 3 days or a raw food cleanse for 3 days. You could do 3, 5, 7, 9. It's just a quick reset. Even if it's just a day, you're detoxing your body. You're telling your body, hey, there's a new cycle. So not just talking about the spring equinox and thinking about it, but also what are those somatic practices? What are those physical practices? What are the herbs that you can work with in your physical body to really support that regeneration, that renewal, and that detoxification? It goes without saying that eating foods in season. Many of us don't even know with grows in season in our grocery store anymore because we've now grown accustomed to be able to walk into the store and pretty much being able to purchase anything that you want at any time, right? We have tropical fruits on the shelf, even though we don't live in tropical climates. And because we're now living in this monopoly of food and a food industrial complex, which is a whole nother episode. But the point here is I really want you to think about spring foods. So as you're thinking about the winter, we were eating a lot more root vegetables, really things that grow underneath the earth. Now we really want to be thinking more about vine vegetables, thinking about those beautiful spring squashes, flowers, sprouts, just the fruits of spring, the vegetables of spring, things that are growing naturally in your climate. So take a look at where you live geographically in the world. And if you want to know what's growing in your climate, the best way to go is to head down to your local farmers market because they are going to be growing the foods in season from your local region. So tapping in. So you're thinking about it truly, this spring equinox shift from a place of mind, body, and spirit. And you want to be utilizing different tools and different techniques in all of those areas to support you in this cycle. So that's going to be your homework today, shapeshifters. You're going to think about what are the spiritual shifts that you're going to make for the spring equinox? What are the personal shifts? All of those different things are going to become your personal spring equinox toolkit. And I also want you to bring that into this entire season. So we get a reset. We get a new opportunity. You've got now from March to June to really nurture those sprouts of spring, those first blooms of spring, because when we get into the summer, we get to taste those fruits. We get to celebrate the bloom. We get to be in the light, which is temporary. So utilize these cycles for your own natural rhythm. Utilize them to continue to calm your parasympathetic nervous system, to continue to stay on track in a world that is built and designed to constantly take you off track, keep you in the distraction. I'm still talking to people every day that feel like they wake up every day and all they see is negativity. And I'm here to tell you that's an illusion. Don't fall for it. And you're not going to fall for it as long as you are continuing to nurture the divine inherent intelligence within your own inner seed. So that's what I have for you today, shapeshifters. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Take this homework seriously and let me know in the comments what are some of those integrations that you are going to be utilizing for spring. Also, I'm super excited to announce that we are getting ready to go live and direct with our announcement for the autumn equinox. So after the summer solstice, we will be experiencing the autumn equinox. That's around September 20th. 21st-ish. That is the season of harvest. And for the last 3 years, I'm so proud to have been the host of the Equinox Retreat in Troncones, Mexico. That is the Ixtapa-Zihuatanejo airport on the Pacific coast. I work with a beautiful sanctuary called Present Moment Retreat Center that has delicious plant-based meals, ocean views from every room, morning yoga classes. We also do temazcal. We go and make offerings to the ocean. It's just a wonderful time to gather around with other like-minded folks that are on the same journey as you. And I can't think of a better time to announce that retreat than now and in the spring equinox, because that will be for our next reset for the autumn equinox. So if you've been following this podcast and you're looking to connect in person, or you are someone that likes to take time to nurture yourself for retreats, or you've never gone on a retreat before in your life and you know that you deserve out of 365 days, you deserve 5 days just for yourself. There is work that we can do as individuals, but as I always say, there is special work to be done in Sacred Circle. And that is why I've been hosting this event for for the last 3 years. So this will be year 4. So check out all the information as well as our early bird discount at shapeshiftyourlife.com. Until next time, shapeshifters, keep shifting. Bye. Much love and light for showing up today, shapeshifters. You could be doing anything right now and you chose to be here, and I do not take that for granted. Looking for extra support on your journey? Explore my affordable coaching programs. Whether you prefer personalized one-on-one sessions or engaging group coaching, I'm here to help you align your vision and thrive on your own terms. Visit shapeshiftyourlife.com, that's SH8PE, shiftyourlife.com, and schedule your free shift call to discuss your coaching goals. Keep shifting.